Welcome back to Southern Soul with a Cajun twist. I'm your host, Chef Sophia Marie. And of course, I'm your favorite chef. You just don't know it yet. Today's episode is brought to you by Summit Mercantile Antique Mall, Vintage Girls, Pink Company Beauty Supply, and Walkaway Productions of Summit, Mississippi. Today, we're cooking up something light, something right, and of course, it's going to satisfy the appetite. We're going to do something crispy, something crunchy. But before we get into the crispy and the crunchy, you know we need something on the side. 2-piece, why won't you? 2-piece it. Yes, 2-piece and a biscuit. Yes, we're doing a biscuit my way, okay? Who doesn't love biscuits, especially homemade biscuits? In the South, biscuits are a Southern staple, okay? And of course, you know you need a side of honey. But before we can get to the honey, we gotta make the biscuits. So we're gonna start with a cup of all-purpose flour. I'm not gonna go too crazy with it. Yes, of course you can use self-rising, but we're gonna incorporate everything that we need. Why? Because I'm cooking today. Who? Chef Sophia Marie, okay? So we're just going to do a cup of all-purpose flour, and I have already measured out the ingredients that I'm gonna incorporate in here. We have a tablespoon of baking soda. We have sugar. And we also have baking powder. So we're gonna incorporate in here. First, we need to shift this because we don't need any clumps. You see those lumps right there? And we also have some kosher salt. So this here is what you're gonna see here. So we're just gonna toss that in there. Yes, we are, okay? Now we have our wet ingredients that we need to incorporate in here. I'm just gonna shake this a little bit. I'm only using a cup, so I'm just gonna shake here a second before I grab my trusty whisk here. Now, biscuits are a Southern staple, okay? Growing up, we had biscuits for just about everything. Who didn't love a biscuit? Now, if you're gonna do biscuits, you have to ensure, especially when they're homemade, that everything is cold. So I have my butter and I have my buttermilk that's already in the fridge and it's getting chilled. So I'm gonna go ahead and grab my butter, and I'm gonna tell you right now, we need to work very quickly. We're going to need to work very swiftly with getting this butter in here. Okay, so we're just gonna grate this butter in here. We're gonna do about half stick of butter, and you can see that it's frozen. Okay, this is what we need. So it's gonna take us a second to grate it, but it's okay. We're gonna work as quickly as possible. We already have our oven preheated at 400 degrees. The biscuits are going to bake for about 15 to 20 minutes, okay? We're gonna have a little butter on the side. We're gonna put some butter and some honey on top. We're gonna get those biscuits together, okay? But before we get there, we need to ensure that all of our ingredients remain cold. Now, considering that you are preparing these biscuits inside of this hot kitchen and this oven is cooking, you need to move fast. This is why you see me moving like Speedy Gonzalez, okay? Maybe not as fast as Speedy Gonzalez, but we're moving, okay? We're moving fast as chef can move, okay? Because we need to get this butter grated in here and well incorporated. These biscuit making, they can get a little crazy and a little messy, okay? So take your time while you're in the kitchen. If you're new to this or true to this, either way, you need to take your time with getting these biscuits. You don't need flour all over the place. The cleanup process is crazy enough, okay? We don't want flour everywhere, so we're gonna get this butter grated in here. We have our buttermilk. So this is what I'm using. You can use whole milk or buttermilk. Me personally, I prefer that buttermilk. I like the way it gives that little crisp, that little crunchy, not crispy, but that like the little crunchy. And it also gives a nice softness to it. Okay, so this is about a half a stick of butter that we've grated in here already. So let's get our buttermilk. Now we're gonna use about, let's just pour. I'm going for about a quarter cup. We're gonna start off with a quarter cup first. You do not want to add in all of the milk because you do not need it too tacky. You need it at a nice consistency. Okay, so we're just gonna mash. We're mashing the butter in here. We're getting this well incorporated. Biscuit making can be fun and it can be messy. Okay, so now I see that it's still a little dry for my liking, so I need to incorporate just a taste more of this buttermilk. You can also use whole milk, but today we're gonna use this buttermilk, okay? Oh, now this is getting together. This is what we want. Yes, of course, you can get in there real good without any gloves. The gloves kind of make it a little tricky, but it can cause some little stickage. But as you see, it's coming on off, okay? So this is what you want. You wanted to clean that pan up, okay? And be as nice and neat as you can be. Let the biscuit lead you. Okay, so we got this together. Now, this is what we want. It's gonna be a little tacky, but it's okay because we have some. Let's get the rest of this out of there. No biscuit dough left behind, okay? So let's get our flour. We need to dust our area, okay? So that our biscuits can come out right. Now we're gonna need this cutting board to be on its best behavior. Now don't you get them moving. I didn't put anything under here so it wouldn't slide. But we need these biscuits to be on its best behavior. So we dust our area and we're gonna get right here. How did your grandmother prepare biscuits? I'm gonna tell you right now, I never seen my grandmother prepare biscuits, but I'm sure that she did prepare them. And when she did, I'm sure she used something like lard or, you know, the old school method. But we're using butter. So we're gonna go ahead and fold this several times. We're gonna just fold, fold, fold. Fold, 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 and we'll be back in a moment. All right, so we have folded and folded and folded as much. This is going to create some lovely layers. So let's go ahead and roll this out. If you do not have a rolling pin, we can improvise. Here I'm using like a cylinder style glass, drinking glass. Listen, don't overthink it. You can use a mason jar. I was making biscuits one time and it's like, I don't even own a rolling pin. I was like, no problem. Don't get worried. Don't panic. We're still gonna make these biscuits. So don't worry if you do not have a rolling pin. It's perfectly fine. This is going to work just fine. We're gonna roll this out a little. We're gonna take the mouth of the jar. We're just gonna ensure it has enough flour here. And we're just gonna, do not twist. Do not twist, just press down. Don't be too heavy-handed to where you shatter your glass. Okay, so they're gonna be nice and cut out. We're gonna bake these in our cast iron skillet. I prefer to use my cast iron. So we're gonna get these over here. Remember, we're working quickly as possible because we want those ingredients to remain cold as possible, at least chilled. Okay, so we're gonna roll this out. I'm gonna do a few more. And I don't know how your biscuit making is, but I said do not be messy. Of course, we're gonna have a little flour going everywhere. But I remember when I made biscuits for my mom for the first time, I brought the biscuits into, now they were not biscuiting. They were not biscuiting, but I brought biscuits to my mother. One of my greatest memories was bringing the biscuits to her. And she told me, I never made a biscuit. Where did you get the biscuit from? And I told her, from your kitchen. I made it, Mother. She said, Darlene. Yes, I created those biscuits for her. And she truly enjoyed. Now, when you're first making your biscuits, they may or may not come out the way that you like, but it's okay. You try and try again until you get it right. We're gonna use our cast iron here, and we're going to, okay, I want to ensure it wasn't hot, okay? So we want to ensure that they're kissing, okay? So we're gonna place them real nice and close together. Okay, we're just gonna form us a nice little circle and get them together. The oven is already preheated on 400 degrees. These are going to bake for about 15 to 20 minutes. Check yours within about at the 15-minute mark to ensure everything is doing what it needs to do. So we have, we don't need them moving. We do not need those babies moving. Wait. Here you go, there go the money shot. So we're gonna place these in the oven at 400 degrees for about 15 to 20 minutes. And we're going to get our crispy chicken going. We'll be back in a moment. All right, welcome back. Now let's talk chicken. Who doesn't love chicken? Fried, baked, seared, roasted, whatever floats your boat. We love chicken. I have my chicken thighs, wings, and legs. I've already had them marinated. We have this, listen. When I tell you seasoned to perfection already, once you prepare your marinade, we want to ensure everything is seasoned. I use buttermilk. I've added some kosher salt to here, some thyme, what else? We need some spice, right? So we have the hot sauce. Yes. I don't know how I'm forgetting the hot sauce. So we have hot sauce in here. We have my secret ingredient, which is the turmeric. This is where you're seeing this nice golden color from. No mustard, whatever works for you. I omitted mustard a while ago. My go-to is buttermilk and turmeric. When I tell you, and it adds in-depth flavor. Okay, so we have these marinated. If you can marinate these for 24 hours, that's the way to go. Just in case you are pressed for time, at least an hour. Sometimes we say half an hour, but really what does half an hour do? Really, seriously. Like, so if you really have the time, let's get at least an hour in there so you can see everything well incorporated. So I have my seasonings here. I have my flour, my cornstarch mix. Okay, so we're about to get this chicken frying. This is flour, cornstarch mix. And I also added a tablespoon of baking powder. What does baking powder do? It gives it like this nice flaky, crispy. It just does something to it, especially mixed with that, oh, can I run that back? Because Lord. Especially mixed with the cornstarch. It gives it something. It gives it some added razzle dazzle. And here we have our seasoning mixture. So we have the smoked paprika. We have Old Bay. Why? Because Old Bay is our secret weapon. We have the Cajun seasoning. Of course we do. And we have garlic pepper. Yes, we do. I've already added some seasoning to the flour mixture. I'm just adding a little more razzle dazzle. Okay, we need a little more razzle dazzle. We need things seasoned. I'm not going to incorporate it all just yet. I'm not going to do that. So you can see the colors there. Okay, the colors are nice. We're just going to whisk that on up, and you should begin to sneeze around this point. I'm not going to sneeze. I'm going to be on my best behavior, because if you're not sneezing, it's not seasoned. But we know we can't be sneezing. We got to trust that it's seasoned. We're going to have to trust it. Okay, so we have our chicken thighs, legs, and wings, 2-piece in a biscuit. We're gonna get this together, okay? So this has already been marinated, all sopped up, juicy like that. Listen, when you're seasoning everything, allow the spirit to use you. Just let it use you. Because if you do not, we do not like bland. We need season, okay? So we're gonna add in, we're gonna start with our bigger pieces first. How about that? We wanna start with our larger pieces, which will be our thighs, and we're gonna use a fork, and we're gonna poke a few holes in there to ensure that it's an even cook on every side, okay? So we're gonna go ahead and give this a little tossy toss, and as we're tossing, we're going to poke some holes in there, and we'll be back in a moment to fry up this chicken. Welcome back to Southern Soul with a Cajun Twist. I'm your host, Chef Sophie Marie, and we're back to this crispy, crunchy chicken that we're gonna prepare to fry up. As I told you all before, we needed to poke some holes into this meat. You see how large the thighs and the legs are? This is going to ensure there's an even cook. That's an old school technique. So we've had these resting here for a moment. At least give it up to about 5 to 10 minutes if the time allows. Allow them to rest a second, okay? So we're going to start with our larger pieces because they do fry a lot longer. So we have our oil here, and we're gonna get this nice sizzle, sizzle, sizzle. Be very careful when you're frying, okay? This is a large pan, so I'm able to get some things done in here, but be very careful because there is gonna be some popping and some action going on over here, okay? Who doesn't love fried chicken? Everyone loves fried chicken. I have to say, my mother was the one who prepared some of the best. Yes, she did. I know your mama can cook. But my mother was one of the ones who not only prepared fried chicken at her best, but every side complimented whatever it is that she fried. Mother was one of those great neighborhood cooks. You know, like how your mother would be preparing some food and whoever is over is able to eat. That was mother. Whoever was there, you gotta play Darlene. She did not leave anyone out. I loved her fried chicken. When we would come home, we knew it was always something going on. If the door was open, the music was playing, we knew it was gonna be a great time. But if we come home and the door is closed, yeah, we will not be having such a fantastic time, okay? But for the most part, our childhood with mother was amazing. She always had something going on in the kitchen. And if you're one of the ones who doesn't have a childhood experience with your mother, listen, I'm sure you have one with your aunt, your cousin, or you can create a childhood experience. I need you to just stay with me, Chef Sophia Marie, your favorite chef. You just don't know it yet, to where you too can be cooking just like a chef, okay? You can create some of those memories as well, okay? I love creating memories in the kitchen. With Chef Sophia Marie, we build confidence. That's one thing mother gave us in that kitchen, confidence. She went in the kitchen, she didn't have what it is she needed, she made a way. She made a way. When I tell you cooking with mother in the kitchen was an understatement, it was truly an understatement. Mother got it in the kitchen. She allowed what she had to stretch. Listen, mother was amazing. She was absolutely amazing. We're gonna check on our chicken here. Okay, and as we're checking on this chicken, we're gonna give it a little toss and just kind of see what we have going on. We'll be back in a moment. And we're back. We have our crispy, crunchy chicken here, and it is prepared. Remember the tip, pinch, poke, poke you some holes into your chicken, especially when it's larger in size. See, these are quite big for bone-in thighs, so we had to get us some holes going in there so that we can ensure an even cook around it. We have our 2-piece and a biscuit. Today has been nothing short of amazing. I have enjoyed sharing what I love with you, which is cooking, okay? Cooking up something nice, something right, something to satisfy the appetite. And who doesn't love fried chicken? Okay, we love us some chicken. It's simple, it's easy. 2-piece in a biscuit, bon appetit, okay? I truly enjoyed myself. When you're preparing these biscuits, get you some butter, some honey, some syrup, mix it up, mix it up, mix it up. Go ahead and put you some on your biscuits. We have our little mini buttermilk biscuits. We don't need anything too much. Remember, if the more all-purpose flour you incorporate, the bigger the biscuit. We only did 1 cup, so we have our little mini-sized biscuits, 2 pieces of biscuit, something nice that you can grab on your lunch break, you know, a nice little lunch snack, okay? So we're gonna get our thigh. Of course, I need the biggest thigh there is. I'm a wing lady, so my 2-piece would be, in real life, I'm gonna be honest, and I'm gonna be honest. In real life, my 2-piece would be 2 thighs. And you know what I'm missing here? You know what I'm missing? My pepper. I'm missing my pepper. So this is what I would enjoy. My 2-piece would be two thighs. That's right. And my biscuit. Okay, 2-piece and a biscuit. Everything has been amazing. I would love for you to try this recipe and share it with your family, loved ones, and friends. Today, again, has been nothing short of amazing. I thank you for joining me today in the kitchen. Much love to all of my sponsors out there. I greatly appreciate each and every one of you. Summit, Mississippi, every sponsor. Listen, today has been amazing, and I know you're watching, so I need you to try this recipe. Share it with a family, loved one, and friend. In the meantime, in between times, I'm Chef Sophia Marie. I'm your favorite chef. You just don't know it yet. I'll see you in the next episode.